Next on Eyewitness News.
Escaped fugitive Kunda McGee stole an SUV, drove into Mississippi, and exchanged gunfire with police. I'm Doug Mouton with the latest on a wild morning in Tangipahoa Parish coming up.
The New Orleans City Council holds its first hearing on the city's 2012 budget. We'll take a look at the department council members are focusing on today. And Hurricane Rina strengthens to a Category 2 storm. Jonathan Myers will tell us where it's headed.
From WWL-TV, the spirit of Louisiana, this is Louisiana's news leader. Channel 4's Eyewitness News at noon.
The New Orleans City Council began the task of deciding how to distribute the limited funds available for the 2012 budget. Last week, the mayor proposed an $844 million budget, and today, the assessor's office went before the city council to give the members there a better idea of city tax revenues. Jill Jesus is there and is joining us now with more on that. And this is another year with a tough budget, not quite as tough as last year's, but still a tough one.
Right, so they're just seeing how much money they have to deal with, and we're still waiting to hear about the actual budget for the office. Instead, for much of the morning, the assessor's office updated the city council on its progress since Assessor Williams took over the consolidated office. Williams told the city council that the appraisal staff has increased its efforts to try and get all residential properties reassessed by late 2012 and commercial properties done by August 2013. He added his office is, quote, consumed right now with picking up properties that are currently not on the tax rolls. So far, Williams says their efforts have resulted in more than 20,000 decreases in value, as well as 60,000 increases in value for Orleans Parish properties.
This resulted in a total taxable assessment of $2.9 billion, which is expected to yield approximately $438 million to all tax recipient agencies, with the city receiving roughly 27% of that pie.
The council will continue over the next month to hear from various city departments, and Eric, by law, the council members must approve that budget by December 1st.
And they have a lot of work to do. Jill, thank you very much.
From Louisiana's home team, this is Fox 8 News at 5 p.m.
The battle started today over the city's nearly $500 million budget.
Today, council members heard from the city's only property tax assessor. As Evan Anderson reports, new property assessments could mean millions more for the city, but more from a homeowner.
In February of 2010, we began to evaluate which neighborhood areas in our city needed to be revalued.
New Orleans Assessor Assessor Williams lays out his reappraisal process to the city council. He says the assessment and reevaluation of thousands of properties across the city is well on its way.
By August of next year, we will be close to 100% complete, and that is because there's always some variables that will keep you from completing 100% of the properties.
Well, he'll have 95% of the assessed value as according to him, but it won't necessarily be pleasing to the people who are being reassessed. That it might be the right thing, but it's not the right time.
Joe Ori is a New Orleans realtor. He also sits on the Real Estate Commission.
We have so many foreclosures, so many people in arrears, people struggling to make ends meet. This is not a time to injure the housing industry.
For the first time in the city's history, one single assessor, instead of 7, is taking on the complicated task of reassessing thousands of properties across the city.
Assessor Williams says more than 40% of homeowners across the city saw increases in their assessed property values, and that number is likely to go up again.
Williams says he plans to reevaluate about a quarter of all properties in the city every year, which means for some, property values go up. This past August, over 7,500 people flooded the assessor's office. More than 1,200 appealed.
That's a learning curve.
Williams says this year the total taxable assessment is $2.9 billion. And that's not tax dollars for the city. That's only the assessed values. The actual tax dollars expected this year is around $438 million.
And then of the $438 million, the city's take of that is only like $120 million. So it's not as big because you got the school board, the levy board, the board of liquidation, okay, the different agencies who all share in the tax dollars.
Now, some homeowners might need to brace for big bills in the mailbox come January. Evan Anderson, Fox 8 News.
We're told by a spokesperson for Assessor Williams, if property values do increase, the millage will automatically adjust to keep revenue level or at the same level as the previous year. By law, the City Council must approve the budget by December 1st.